Oh yeah, I did. Okay,
look, we have a lady.
Yeah, there's some other people there. I'll just ping them in this other place. Just a minute.
True.
I mean, I feel like it'd be really boring for me to talk, considering it looks like there's newer people.
Is there, Gijan? Yeah, I have an answer from our Flat Earth Wiki for your Escape to the Future fallacy question. Have you ever seen our FAQ page on the Flat Earth Wiki, Gijan?
I don't think so.
I'll find it for you.
Can you link me up?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Only ask questions. Here it is. Yeah, this is not exactly the same as yours, but it's a variation. I could add yours to the thing here, but this is basically the same thing. What if you, as a flat earther, were taken up to outer space and shown that the Earth is a globe? Would you accept it then? Have you ever asked that question before, Gijan?
No, but I did want to ask it right here. I mean, it was.
Oh, go ahead and
really
ask
close
it then.
Yeah. What's that?
Are you going to ask it?
Well, I wanted to ask Flo because he said he would get on a
Okay,
rock.
go ahead and ask him while we're getting organized here.
Oh, okay. Do I need to sound like a lady?
Not yet. I haven't pressed start yet. I'll press start on the event while you're answering, Gladflow.
Oh, super. Gosh, that's just put me on the spot, would you? I'm just kidding. Okay, so, Gijan, let's talk about the rocket going up.
Yeah. So my question to you is, you said you would get on a rocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think they would have windows, but let's assume that they would. You could get on it, you look outside the window, and you see what you perceive to be some slight curvature of the horizon. Would you react? Or what would you think?
First, I'd have to know how many mediums are in between my eye and the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let me tell you, in a commercial jet, the windows have 7 different panes of glasses and plastic that are all bent in certain different ways. So between your eye and outside, a bunch of shit's happening. You can't trust it. So even if I were in a rocket 100,000 feet up, I look outside, okay, great. That's how it looks between me and the mediums and the shit outside. Unless I am 100,000 feet up by myself with nothing in between my eyes and the outside world, I can't say what it is. Can I?
I mean, you can't do that without dying, so...
There you go. See, it's unfalsifiable. That's the problem. A lot of this stuff is unfalsifiable.
Right, so you put yourself in a position where you are not allowed to change your mind.
Who says I'm not allowed?
Well, you just did. You said it's unfalsifiable.
Right, objectively it's unfalsifiable. I don't make the rules.
I don't think it's objectively unfalsifiable.
Noted. Opinion noted. Can you falsify it then? Can you know what I mean? You go do the thing.
I mean, the statement, the Earth is round, is falsifiable, right?
Well, yeah, it is actually. Yeah, we don't have any curvature, so you're right.
Okay, I guess you and I disagree on the definition of falsifiable.
Falsifiable means you can prove it wrong.
It's been falsified, Gijan. Right there, Sasha put it in there, 504, Black Swan. It's been falsified many times. Only takes one to falsify a proposal there in science. Which
That's
is
perfect.
really, I mean, we're stretching. I'm sorry, Gladflow, but yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. That's perfect.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're really stretching to even call it a scientific question, because it's really not. When we're formulating a scientific hypothesis, that has to do with cause and effect relationships. And the shape of the Earth is actually a measurement and not a scientific question. But, you can still apply these logical axioms to measurements, like the modus tollens, which is applied in the Black Swan, because you can apply them to definitions, just like they'd be applied to a geometric figure. If a triangle... if a figure is a triangle, then it has 3 sides. So then you count the sides. Nope, doesn't have 3 sides. So there's your not B, then not A. Doesn't have 3 sides, therefore it's not a triangle. It's the same thing with the modus tollens argument being applied to the Black Swan, in which case, if the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles, Then every distance, horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, just like you see there. I'm sure you've heard it before, Gijan. It's the same idea there. So, we're applying it to a mathematical question. It's really a measurement. So, yeah, math is the flat earther's best friend because it disproves the globe every time. So I'm just going to do a short intro here. Yeah, and then Gijan, if there aren't any other new people, we'd be happy to talk to you some more about question you just asked. I bet there's some other ladies that would want to answer your fantasy escape to the future fallacy question, because even though it has nothing to do with logic, reality, math, or science, it's entertaining in a science fiction kind of way. So we're here with the Flat Earth ladies at the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server. It's February 11th, 2022. Easy to remember. If your child's born this day, you can say 2 times 11 equals 22, and you'll always remember what day they were born. I have a couple of children with math equations. I used to remember their birthdays, especially when you have multiple children. It can get difficult. So, nonetheless, we've got a bunch of ladies here. We've got other people that promised to come. I don't know if they promised. They said they would be here. That's not exactly a promise. That's why I no longer promise things like that. I say, I'll try to be there. I'll do my best. I think I can make it, right? Because then you're not breaking your promise when you actually don't show up. So, anywho, we've got Damsel Medic. I don't know if she can talk. Are you there, Damsel Medic? Can't talk now. Hopefully hear from you later. And that goes for any lady that's here. You don't have to wait for me to call on you. Feel free to speak up at any time. Especially if you have a name that doesn't sound like a female and you don't have a profile picture that looks like one, because I might actually know that you're here to participate in the ladies' night. Which, to define it, it is the purpose of ladies' night is to give the women of the Flat Earth a chance to run the show here and answer the questions. So we have anyone's welcome to come in. I heard a rumor, I think this was a couple weeks ago, told me that on Gem Panda's server they have Lady Globers there. We used to have Twitwit. She came in here to Ladies Night a couple times. Haven't seen her for a while. But yeah, if any Lady Globers are listening out there, we had one last week. I can't remember her name. She was here with her buddy, and that was cool. So yeah, anyone, of any shape, size, gender, and so on, is welcome to come in and ask us questions or give us kind and polite comments. And the ladies of the Flat Earth will be fielding said input from the audience. If you have not joined us yet on the Discord and you're listening to this somewhere else, we not only have it streaming on YouTube on 2 different channels, Helio and Rogers, we also have Joshua that's streaming it on other platforms. And he was hot micing earlier, so I don't know if he's still listening, but at some point maybe he can tell us what they are, because I can't even keep track. Seems like he's always adding new platforms. So there we go. Let's see. We have KJ, but she's deafened. Maybe she'll join us later and say hello. I saw Veronica's there. She's deafened too. I don't know if we have anybody else. Oh, we have Karma. Hey, Karma, can you say hello?
Hey, just jumped in.
Good. Since Karma's here, I'll take this time to promote another upcoming event. So Brad, our moderator Brad, who I think currently is going by the name Ghost, came up with this idea of a Sunday show, which has been going well. The last one was on the Apollo hoax. This one is not this Sunday coming up, which is February 13th. It's the Sunday after that, February 20th, at 2 o'clock my time. But I noticed this great thing about this event feature is that it makes the time zone automatically updates to whatever your time zone is. So mine, it says 2 o'clock, but whoever you are, if you're looking at that live stream voice text, it'll say your time, which is very cool. Plus, I discovered if you click interested, then your phone, if you're doing it on your phone, sends you a little notice when it's coming up that says, hey, your event's starting soon. So it's very exciting. So if you are interested in the logical fallacy presentation, which will be Sunday, February 20th, I'm going to be there presenting some stuff. India will be there. Drace. Karma's going to help me out on my part. Ghost and Redford Bear are hosting it. I think that covers all the official people. The part I'm working on, and Karma is going to chime in on because this is her area of expertise as well, is how to help train children how to think logically, and understand objective reality and so on. Where it might be, I have some resources to share about identifying logical fallacies that I use in my own homeschool. And I know Karma's done a lot of hands-on work just with generally reasoning ability. I mean, it doesn't have to be formal training necessarily when you're talking about children. I think we all just do this naturally, like when you're doing parent, one-on-one information, like they're looking at things in the world, they're asking you questions and you're answering them. I mean, that's just pretty basic, but we can go a little further than that. Grace is working on this fabulous presentation, like outshining us all already. It hasn't even started. So he's showed me a preview of that, so that's going to be great. Who knows what India is going to do, but I'm sure it'll be great. So anywho, that's that event. We also have tomorrow the Precious Metals Takeover, which is 1 o'clock Eastern. I'll try to find, there's the GIF of that one. And hopefully you can figure out what that time is wherever you are. That's a really great show, too, if you haven't ever listened to that one, because they sometimes talk about FlatEarth in that Precious Metals show. But if there's no new globe believers there, or even old globe believers, they don't have any globe believers to talk to. They have these really interesting questions they ask and do kind of a round robin with the different silver and gold members or guests that are there, and they're really interesting. The last question last week was, what mystery would you like to see? Would you like to know the answer to if you could choose anyone? And people had really interesting answers to that. So yeah, I'll just take a pause here and say hello to Darkness, aka Lulu. If by any chance you can say hello to us, because I haven't heard from you in so long, that would be great. Are you able to say hello, Lulu?
Hello there.
Good to hear you. You sound good.
Thank you. It's good to be here, finally.
Did you get a new mic, or is it just because I haven't heard you and miss your voice that it just sounds so great?
I didn't get a new mic, so thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was thinking the same thing, though.
There you go. It's not just me. Yeah, I think it's just because we haven't heard her so long. We're starved of Lulu.
Yeah, I've been wondering where's my Lulu. But the thing you were saying earlier, because you were talking about the kids and logic, I had a fun thing actually happen today.
Tell us about it.
I saw a seed I planted start to blossom a little bit, because one of my smart kids, who was a 4th grader when he was with me, we'd talk about smart shit, and I'd often plant little seeds about things, and at one point he wanted to talk about the moon landing, and I told him just honestly, I don't think they did it, I think they faked it. And then I tell him a bunch of reasons why, the most logical ones, and tell him to check it out for himself and decide for himself whether he thinks they did it or whether they faked because they had something to gain from it, because he's smart. And today, he's in 5th grade, and he came up to me because I was outside and he was walking home, and he was telling me how he checked it out and how it looked super fake. And then he was saying he just watched the thing where they were saying they were going to go to Mars or something, and watched a launch or something with NASA. And he was like, they were so definitely in a swimming pool. My grandma, who works in this swimming hall for this many years, she's 6 years old, she's been working there for 30 or 40 years, and she said their pool isn't even deep enough for competitions. And I was like, hell yeah, your grandma's got it right.
That is great. I love it. You know what? And I think sometimes, even just, hi, KJ. We said hi to you earlier, but I think you were deafened. I think sometimes, just for you, you're just such a blessing for those children, right? Because I think a lot of times when the first time a child makes kind of an observation about that's seems obvious, but an adult says, no, you're wrong. Like Chocolate used to always say, and he was in elementary school, he'd say stuff about, doesn't seem like we're moving, when the teacher was talking about the spinning, and they'd be like, shut up, or whatever the reaction was, they shut you down, right? Instead of saying, even if you were a globe person, the child's, experience can be validated, instead of shut down. So that is so cool.
I love getting questions. Yeah. Especially when, even the kids that nobody can stand because they'll ask you the same question 20 times in a row. I love it. I even invite the Flat Earth conversations very discreetly. For instance, 2 days ago, somebody walks up to me with one of those full origami, so you can choose a color and then numbers, then you get something and you don't know what it is. And it's a yes and no one. So she's like, ask me a question. I'm like, oh, I gotta give you a good one. Is the Earth flat? And then I got a yes, and I'm like, okay, the Earth is flat then. And she's like, okay, and goes to ask somebody else. And then the kid, of course, in first grade, be like, the Earth ain't flat. And I'm like, why not? And then we started having a bunch of conversations. And the things that he, like, of course, brings up the classic, like, oh, they would be on the bottom. I'm like, no, just think of it like Minecraft. Like, you would just be going in different directions. So, like, if it's flat, there wouldn't need to be anybody on the bottom because it's just Earth. And then there's air. And then I was explaining to him density based on this, because I was saying flat Earth doesn't need gravity technically, so the gravity thing is a no-go. And we had a really interesting conversation. It was very nice.
That is great. I wish I could send my children to your program. That would be great.
But you could always just move to Iceland.
That's right. I in theory, I don't know. Do they just take people over there? Just all you have to do is say you want to go.
I mean, pretty much. I'm not gonna lie. It's easy. Is it not?
You have to generally get a job and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. If you get a job here, it should be no problem.
Yeah. That's. Yeah, and I did want to say, so that's good to hear that Drace is there. Congratulations to our new mods. I don't know if everybody's heard that, Drace, and also Hank Hill, which I don't even know if he's been around since he became a mod, but Drace is here, so congratulations, Drace. Definitely a well-deserved promotion.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him.
Sure. And let's see. Oh yeah, KJ, are you able to say hi now that you're done with your dinner? Or maybe she's still making dinner.
Yeah, hey.
Hi there. How's your week been?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Is it cold where you are?
Hi, KJ.
Oh, somebody said hi to you. You have a fan.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, hi. It's been extremely cold. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's been here. We have tons of snow.
We're still having our second winter right now.
Yeah, this winter's been really different than last winter because the snow just came, deep snow, like we have over a foot still, I think, on the ground, and it just stayed. Because I think last winter it kept melting, coming back, but we've had to just stay on the ground.
Yeah, but the kids at least are having a lot of fun. They're making tons of snow houses and stuff. We even bought the snow shovel at work so they can play with it.
That is great. Yes. My boys are enjoying the sledding, the snowman building, all that stuff. Yep. I told them, you only got like a month left of that, so make sure you enjoy it. Oh, Gijan left. Too bad, because I was going to have him ask his question again, because not all of you were in here when he asked it. Oh, well. I don't know if we have anybody else that's new in here. I have to look. Spellbreaker, that's a cool name. There was another lady that was here earlier. That's what I was looking for, like right before we started, but she didn't have the VC verified role. Now she's not here because I was going to unmute her. Now I can't remember what her name was. She was down there toward the bottom. But maybe she ran away. Didn't know what she was getting into here. Oh, we have someone called Globe Earth 2069 with no roles. I gotta unmute this person, don't you think? I mean, they're just right out there, just calling themselves Globe Earth. I love it. They can tell us all about Globe Earth.
Right.
Hi there,
Yeah,
Globe Earth.
you need a lot. You have a lot to learn about the globe, Dandelion.
Great! Oh, I can't wait! We got the guy! He's gonna show us the curvature and the rotation. Thank you. Oh my God.
Woo!
I've been looking for this for 5 years. I said
That's
they told me it was proved,
5 years, dude.
and I've been looking for the proof. And Globe Earth is here to show us. Tell us, please, right now. Platform's yours. Proof, curvature. Tell us where you've observed verifiable, testable, repeatable curvature or rotation. Please, Globe Earth.
Okay, now, on the basis of the thing, would you agree that there's gas pressure?
I would agree there's gas pressure here on the Earth because I am currently breathing, yes.
Now, what does that prove?
Oh, what you're asking me what it proves that there's gas pressure on the Earth?
Yeah, because I'm trying to prove something here. I don't want to leave it up in the air like y'all people do.
Well, that's a pretty wide open question. You're asking me what gas pressure proves.
Yeah, you know about gas pressure, right? I thought you were a flat earther.
Yeah, I mean, having gas pressure on the Earth indicates, I don't know if I would say proves, it indicates that there's some kind of container involved, since we all know that gas disperses to fill all available space unless contained. So I guess what I would say, since in science we don't actually prove, hold on just a second, I got to take this question from my son. Give me 10 seconds. Okay, I'm back.
Are you leaving?
I'm not leaving. We know the gas pressure, that gas disperses to fill all available space unless contained. Therefore, what we can disprove, because science is about falsifiability, and what we can prove is not the case. So one thing that we know is not happening, globe Earth, is we do not have the atmosphere of the Earth hanging uncontained next to the alleged vacuum or near vacuum of outer space. Because if that was happening, the gas would be dispersing into that space to fill it, and we do not observe this. We do observe that we have gas pressure and that the gas is not escaping into this fantasy science fiction realm known as outer space.
So can you have gas pressure without a container?
I have never seen it observed, of course, just as I just mentioned. That has never been demonstrated on the Earth, so therefore natural law is accepted that this does not happen because we've never observed or demonstrated it. Doesn't mean it's proven, it means it has not been falsified. So I would say we cannot, because it's never been demonstrated in a verifiable, testable, repeatable way.
Okay, now we do know that gas pressure can exist without a container.
Please demonstrate that for us, globe Earth.
Well, it's a demonstration.
Show us the testable, repeatable, verifiable experiment or observation where you found this happening.
Okay, so that's a great point, right? Now, do you think...
I didn't make a point. I asked you to demonstrate your claim. Hold on. I made no point. You don't get to go on to another question unless you either answer or concede the last point. You just claimed gas pressure can exist without a container. I asked you to back up that claim with a verifiable, testable, repeatable experiment, or I'd even accept a demonstration.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm talking spiritually, right? So, like, spiritually, yeah.
Hold on, globe Earth. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'll try to take it back a notch for you since you're new. Actually, you know what? First, I'm going to give you the VC verified rule. Do you agree to follow the rules of this server as laid out in the welcome, including no concern trolling, no trolling, keep the conversation civil, no spamming links and all that kind of thing?
I mean, do I get spanked if I'm a bad boy?
No, I'll send you into Cogdis like in about 30 seconds.
Well,
you have a punishment room. You get sent to the punishment room.
Look, I'll follow the rules, lady. I'm not here to debate you.
Okay, cool. We'll go back to the content then. I gave you the VC verified rule so we don't have to waste time later. Okay, so now I lost track of where we were. Where were we in the conversation? You were going to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, globe Earth?
No, you said that science can't prove anything, right? That's what you said.
That's not me saying that. That's the accepted definition of science saying that. That's not me. I mean, you want me to go get my children's textbook? I just went over that with my son this morning and take a picture of it for you. It's fine. I'm sorry. I was supposed to be backing off.
No. You're okay. You're okay. But you are aware, right, that the majority of people think that science proves stuff, right? We can agree to that.
We can agree that people are misinformed about what science is and that they regularly accept pseudoscience as science. Yes. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I'm sorry, Globe Earth. I know what it was. You said you were talking spiritually. I was going to invite you to join our religion and spirituality area down below at any time. But that's not what we talk about in the live stream. We talk about provable, objective reality, demonstratable reality. And
I get it. You're in the physical.
Okay, I just given you my little, public service announcement because you said you were talking spiritually about your gas dispersing, I guess, or not dispersing. You think some spiritual force is holding it down here to the earth?
No, I just think
that got to offer?
No, I said I just wanted to point out that you can't always neglect the spiritual when dealing with the physical. That's all.
Oh, yes. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Globe Earth, because your Globe Earth fantasy is a spiritual belief. I mean, I prefer to call it a superstitious belief, but thank you for highlighting that for the audience.
No problem. Okay. And thank you for the ladies' night or whatever.
You're welcome.
Now that we know from our good friend, Dandelion, the science don't prove shit, right?
No, that's not what I said.
No, you did say that. You said that you taught it to your 3-year-old or whatever.
I never said 3-year-old. I just don't like you having the habit of misrepresenting what I said. I did not use any curse words, and I never said how old the child was.
Okay, it's all recorded. I'm not worried about it. It's fine. But look.
I am. I'm worried about you taking the time to be more precise with your claim. So you're here. I mean, really, we've been looking. We look for globe defenders all the time, and we rarely find them. We rarely find anyone worthy of defending this fantasy globe, which I'm not surprised. I mean, none of us are surprised because we already know, because we've already investigated and shown decisively that there is no solid proof. You just told me the way you started this conversation was that I need to be educated about the globe, and yet you have still not brought any proof here. You have no scientific, verifiable, testable, repeatable evidence of your spinning globe. And yet, do you, Glober, think that you live on a spinning globe?
Well, I know where I live, Dandelion, obviously.
I'm going to give you Globus Hystericus for now, even though your name speaks for itself, but you might change it. Where do you live, Globe Earth?
What? I mean, why are you cared about where I live? The surface is flat, right?
What makes you say that?
Well, you people claim to measure it, right? And you said that over long distances, y'all ain't seeing curvature, right?
That's correct. Very good. Very good. So you're familiar somewhat with this argument then. You've seen it in other places.
Now, just because the surface is flat doesn't mean that a globe can't be involved.
What? Bro, what?
Now that's
is this
what I'm trying to make.
Veronica's saying that, is this Chalice? I know Chalice, like I've talked to him before. Are you seriously Chalice?
Like I said, you can have a flat surface and a sphere of some sort can still be involved in the creation, right?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Any of the other ladies feel like jumping in on this guy? Go ahead. I mean, we went through the basic points and he doesn't have any proof of globe. I don't know if there's anybody else in here that's new that has a question. Feel free to jump in, anybody that there. We've got with no roles. You're a person, and you know what, Glober, just to tell you, your voice is sounding familiar to some people. Like, we just prefer people to come in on their, if you can't come in your original count, then we just prefer people to, tell us if they were a person before. It's just much easier.
Dandelion.
Have you been here before, Globe Earth?
Can I finish my point? You're
not. I want you to answer my question, yes or no.
I'm trying to, but listen. I'm trying to be nice, and you just like this and that, and it can't happen, and all this stuff, and you don't even let me finish my point.
Okay, I'll let you finish your point after you answer my question because it has to do with the rules of the server, which you just agreed to follow.
I am still
Glober, I am not going to be upset with you or punish you in any way. I won't even send you to the naughty room. I would just like you to be honest with me. And so you need to answer this yes or no, because then in your heart, you will know whether you told me the truth or you told me a lie. This happened just last week. We had a dude come in here that's been here under 9 or 10 names. He told me the truth, that he was all these other people. And he gained some respect from me for at least saying that. So, Globe Earth, have you been to this server before? Under another name. Yes or no?
Oh, I've been on this server under many names.
Okay, thank you. That's all. That's what I wanted. Okay, because people are in the voice text there. I don't know if you can see. You're probably very familiar with that since you've been here before. What are these other names that you've been here under?
Oh, well, I mean, I go by many names, you know?
What are some of those names?
I mean, like Melchizedek, the Living God, all that stuff.
So, I think we're going to move on to someone else for a minute, but thank you very much for participating. I think the original exercise with you there was helpful. We're going to see if we have any other new people here to talk to. Oh, I know, Purple Doom, that's who I saw. Purple Doom, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, how are you? Welcome to the server. How are you?
I'm good. I was here earlier. I'm just an observer.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we won't force you to talk if you don't want to. Can you just tell us at least? And we can have one of the nicer ladies talk to you if you want. Can you tell us what do you think about the Earth in terms of the globe?
On a personal level?
Yeah.
I go with the I go with the what is it? I don't think it's a perfect sphere, but I think it's a globe.
What makes you think that? And where do you get the?
And no, you just asked me. I just said I'm an observer. I was
okay. You don't want to go into the details about it. Okay, so you're a globe
I'm just
believer.
listening. Yeah.
Okay. We do have a nice role that says globe for polite people. Most of our globe roles are kind of mean. I feel like we should just have one that just says globe believer. Globus hystericus is kind of that, but he doesn't sound too hysterical. I don't know. I'll have to come up with something. But you don't want to defend your globe, so you can't be a globe earther, because those people actually know the model and what it claims and so on. So we'll try to come up with something special for you. Google Earther. Maybe that. How about that? Adam Unsalted suggested Google Earther. Would you like that, Purple Doom? Would you like that role?
You can do whatever you like. I'm just an observer.
It's kind of nice sometimes just to give you another role other than VC Verified. Then people won't keep asking you the same question. You'll probably prefer that if you want to be observer. Then people will nag you less. All right.
A little chubbier. Yeah, chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped. Yeah.
Thank you. He wouldn't answer my question about why he thought it wasn't a perfect sphere, but that was Neil deGrasse answering it. And Seb put a little visual in there for you. That's cool. Yeah, if any of the other ladies want to talk to Globe Earth, go ahead. I mean, I feel like I exhausted what I wanted to say to him, but if anybody else wants to talk to him, feel free. The dude with an extremely rude name. I'll have to change his name. We'll just call him Rude Name Guy for now. He doesn't have VC Verified. I don't really want to unmute him with that rude name he just had. A Rude Name Guy, if you decide you'd like, and this goes for anyone, I'll just give my general service announcement. Karma, I'm sorry. She says, can't say that's a tempting offer, Dandelion-in-law. Yeah, exactly. Well, at least we got the truth out of him, right? We accomplished something. We just like to know who people are, because we've dealt with you before, and we have a history with, we just like to know who people are. Anywho, Rude Name Guy and anyone else who's new to the server, if you don't have the VC Verified role, feel free to jump up to VC check-in 1, and then in the VC check-in voice text, you can ping a mod, gold, or silver, and then it's just a short little 5-minute kind of interview to see what's going on with you, how you found the server, going just a brief outline of the rules in which you can read and welcome ahead of time to make things go quicker. You agree to follow the rules and so on. Then you can get the VC verified role. And then it's easier for everyone, including yourself, because then you can unmute yourself as well as see the rest of the channel. And also, if you're listening on YouTube or one of those other platforms, our vanity URL is discord.gg/FlatEarth. I'll say that one more time. Discord.gg/FlatEarth. And then you can come in and to the Discord server. And even if you think Discord sounds like a terrible place to be, because that's what I thought. I didn't want to join it for a really long time. Oh, rude name, guys, in VC check-in voice
You'd
text.
be right.
Yeah, he wants to be checked in. So if anybody can go up there. Oh, Glad Flow's up there. I'll move him up there. And if you want him to have a different name, like that's not the best name for him, I know, then just tell me what it is and I'll change his name to something else. All right, I'm going to move you up there, rude name guy. Oh, and Imagine wants to be checked in too. Cool. Okay, so we've got a couple people up there, so hopefully we will have some people to talk to. And maybe, ladies, we can get somebody who will defend the fantasy globe. I mean, when's the last time any of you heard a decent argument for the globe in this server? Has anybody heard one lately?
Has there ever been a decent argument for the globe, though?
That pretty much covers it. I like the latest people, though. I feel like we've had a round to people like this Manso guy who was here yesterday. If any of you saw him, like Mr. Logical Fallacy. If he comes back, I really should change his name to Manso Logical Fallacy Demonstrator, because like he was amazing the number of fallacies he could come up with for the globe. And he went through the 3 points and all that, and he admitted the globe was a belief like the whole time. You know, I just believe it because I believe it. You know, I feel like we've had more people like that lately. They're just like, yep, I just think it. No reason for it. Like they're not even ashamed to say that. In the old days, people would be like ashamed to say that, right? And now they're just kind of proud. I don't know. It's really weird. Oh, did we talk to Yer? Oh, no, we didn't talk to Yer yet. I'll try unmuting Yer. Hello, Yer. Are you available to speak to us? Okay, well, Yer, if you decide you would like to say hello at any time, feel free to jump in. As we just demonstrated with Purple Doom, we're not going to force you to defend your fantasy globe. We accept here if people want to stay on the globe. We know that's the easier position. It's way easier. I mean, anyone who's been to junior high knows it's way easier to just go along with the crowd, agree with what everyone else says, don't make any waves, do what you're told. So if you're a person who wants to just keep doing that, stay in the globe trance, we'll let you do that. We've, people stuck around here for years and stay on the globe model. So that's perfectly fine, especially on ladies' night. Can't guarantee people won't be up in your face about it on other nights. But at least tonight, you want to stay on the globe because that's what's easier. Nobody's going to stop you. Veronica, I don't know if you can say hello, but thank you for alerting us to Globe Earth's former identity. I truly appreciate that.
I can say hello. I just had to make a phone call earlier. Hello, everybody.
Hi. Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks. Good to be here.
What about Javon D, Globe Skeptic? Did we ever talk to you before? Can you say hello to us?
Hey. Yeah,
Hi.
I'm not so often here.
What?
Sometimes just listening here. I'm not talking so much here.
You don't want to talk?
Yeah, we can talk, but about what?
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Flat Earth?
What makes you a globe skeptic?
What makes me globe skeptic? Well, NASA lies. What I can measure myself is contradicting with the globe model.
Yep, I agree with both of those things. So have you done some measurements?
Yeah, with my eyes and common sense.
Cool.
I'm not
Can you
really
tell
a
us more about
scientist or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing. Yeah, you don't need to be a scientist to observe the obvious reality that the Earth is flat and stationary, just as it appears. Yeah, I mean, doesn't need any special training of any sort, really. Just it's, the globe is the positive claim that requires some kind of evidence to back it up, and not just any evidence, but as we said before, testable, repeatable, verifiable evidence, which is what is sadly lacking, which is why we're in here day in and day out asking someone to show us any evidence of this and not getting an answer, or not getting any kind of decent answer. We get a lot of fallacies, we get a lot of sidestepping, we get a lot of sophistry, but we don't get a lot of direct observation or verifiable, repeatable, testable evidence.
I have a question,
if
it's possible.
Oh, please, by all means.
So, again, like he said, I'm not a scientist. My major is in communication. I like to deal with people and things of that nature. I like to defuse situations, if you will. That's why I don't want to argue about anything personally. That's why, as an observer type question, I would like to know, though, because I'm open to listening without putting down the other side, which would be the globe Earth. From the flat Earth perspective, how does a lunar eclipse work?
I can answer you, but I've been talking a lot, so are there any other ladies that would like to take that one?
All I can say is I don't know. I can only observe what I see, and I can't test it. I can't go there. I can't verify it. So I have no way of knowing. But I'd be interested in finding out.
Yeah, I would just say in general, Perpetuum, and I appreciate you asking the question, and you asked it so nicely. We appreciate that as well. Well, there's two things. There's a lot of questions about how the lunar eclipse is claimed to work on the heliocentric model. So usually when people ask that question, they assume that it works on a heliocentric model, but it actually does not. So that's the first thing, I'd like to show you. Like, if you would, at some point after I do the second part of the answer, if you'd like to demonstrate, if you like to go research it, demonstrate in the voice text, how an eclipse works on the heliocentric model, then we could examine that, because I think that's the most important thing to realize. There's, the Solanian eclipse, the impossible eclipse, which just debunk it in and of itself, but there's many other problems with the heliocentric explanation. But I'm going to let you speak again. Just let me finish this last little part to back up Karma. Okay, go ahead. You got something for that.
I would just say, just because I had said without referring to that model, because I want to give the flat Earth a blank slate to paint a picture.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly where I was going with it.
And that's why I was saying, without referring to that.
Yeah, okay, but it's necessary. We have to give that disclaimer, because all day long, every day, for years and years and years, we have people come in here assuming the things they've been told, seasons, the sun, eclipses, the moon, all these things, work in the heliocentric model when they don't. So that it's full of contradictions.
I'm very open-minded.
And it does not predict reality. So that's why we have to give that disclaimer. But there are also other things where their explanation could hold up, and the thing works on both models, but that leads to the next part, which I need to tell you, is we will sometimes here in the Flat Earth community demonstrate aspects of phenomena in order to explain how they could, a possible explanation for how they could work here on the actual Earth where we live, or how we actually observe them to work. We do not claim, and we never will claim, that we have a comprehensive model. We're not trying to replace a failed heliocentric model, because we don't need to. We just live here in reality and we look at different phenomena and how they work. So yeah, like Indio put there, the dark bodies, Ravi and Ketu. So yeah, back when science was still open to inquiry, when academics weren't blackballed if they actually went into scientific inquiry and held to the rigorous standards that they're told they're supposed to adhere to, and then find themselves fired from their positions at university and research institutions. So back when science was really about proposing possible solutions and then gathering evidence for them and then testing hypotheses about, these cause and effect relationships, people proposed that there were other bodies up there that might be causing these shadows that we see, because it's obviously not the Earth. There's absolutely zero way it's the Earth. That's something we can easily falsify for you if that's what you're interested in. But we're not going to sit here. We aren't here to replace a failed model with another model that claims to explain everything, because we're not here to be your God. The globe model is a god to many people. It's a superstitious belief. So we're not here to replace that with another god that you have to just agree with or believe, or we got the answer to everything for ya, the god of Google. We're not here to replace that for you. So we're here to do real scientific inquiry. Most of us, myself included, prefer to stay on the ground, because that's where it's much easier to do testable, repeatable, verifiable observations and so on. But people do experiments where they test, aspects of the moon, such as the moonlight being cooler than the sunlight, therefore not being possible for it to be the reflected light of the sun, and so on. People do experiments in that area. So I think we have a whole channel down there. I'll see if I start typing it. Yeah, there we go. We've got Moon channel. So yeah, I would recommend that you check that out. And I don't know, does any of the other women have anything to add? While you're thinking about whether you have something to add, I got to read what, Drace says. We're not the prophets of a new religion or cosmology. We are the people that left the old cult, and the old prophets are the old religion. So that's, you'll just have to get used to that around here. We're talking about objective reality, especially here in the live stream. I mean, people are interested in spirituality here, but we try to keep that down below, because it can lead to, not everyone agrees on that. Let's just say that. But we agree the Earth is flat and stationary, just as it appears, and we're not here to replace the helio cult religion. So somebody else is going to jump in there. Go ahead.
I was actually going to say something similar, because I was just going to point out the other disclaimer, which is most of the people here are just people that were raised to believe that we lived on a ball. And then when someone challenged it, we tested it for ourselves and found that, oh my God, it's complete bullshit. There's no curve. There's no ball. So, of course, we want to have all of the information. And depending on how long ago someone found out, they're going to have different amounts of information, different level of eloquence. But of course, we're not going to have all the answers. So you pretty much said everything I was going to say. So I'm just going to shut up now.
Well, that makes me upset then. You should have jumped all over me and interrupted me and said it instead yourself, because I want to hear from more people.
I'm not much for doing that. I have to have at least gotten the shot of vodka in me if I was going to do something like that.
Well, anyway, just jump in there anytime.
Yeah. Yesterday I had a conversation with two friends on Discord, and I don't know why, but the flat Earth came up. I said that the Earth was flat, and then they first thought I was joking. They asked more and more, and actually it came to a point they just ridicule me, and they laugh at me, and they don't take me serious. And that's what bothers me the most. You cannot have like a normal conversation about this, because for them it's like a religion. It doesn't matter how much proof you show them. They just keep holding on to their beliefs.
Of course, there's different people, yeah.
Go ahead, Carmen.
I was just gonna say, it also depends on the people, because we always have outliers, exception to the rule, and different types.
And our methodology.
And yeah, different methodology, like there's saying next to me, how we think is different, so how we process it is different. Just like you see how some people go really hard to deconct this right away, while others are just like, that's really interesting, I'm gonna go have to research this and actually go and do that. And those people usually become flat earthers really fast. So those don't last very long as Globers. But the hardcore Globers, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I find that very unfortunate too, what that people are so emotional about it, that they're unable to have an adult conversation about it, and they don't even, and a lot of people who seem to be adults, or at least close to being adults, or supposedly adults, or biological adults, even when they're like in the moment sitting there being like extremely childish, name calling, tantrum throwing, and so on, and like unable to hold a logical dialogue, still can't see that there's a problem with how emotional they are. Like, if this is supposed to be a proven scientific thing, everybody knows it's a globe, like, why are you guys getting so upset about it? It's very weird. Yeah, and then they kind of are like projecting the stuff on you, so then, like you said, you can't really even have a serious conversation with these people. It's with some of them. As Karma said, we can't just say these people, because some of them you can, right? But that particular type that you're talking about, they just shut down. It is very discouraging. I agree.
Yeah, but I think it is part of a bigger problem where people are raised to believe what authority tells them, what they taught in school, and they cannot think for themselves anymore. They just blindly believe authority.
Yeah, I say this is why they took logic and introspection and all this smart shit out of school. Because if people are taught that at a young age, they can see through the lie much more easier. So of course they had to remove that, so the kids don't know that they're being lied to by sophists.
Oh, I'd like to introduce Mei June if you're able to talk. If you can't talk, that's all right, Mei June. But Mei June's relatively new to the server. Hi, Mei June.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. I'll go ahead and give you the ladies' night roll, because then you'll see. And I actually know you will. I'll give you the link, image, and bedroll, because then you'll get pinged for this event if you're interested. We do it every Friday at this time.
Oh, okay. This is the ladies' night right now going on?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a mix of people here.
Yeah. Basically, the ladies' night is, it's not only ladies are allowed, it's that the ladies, in particular the Flat Earth ladies, which is pretty much all we ever get around here, although we occasionally have ladies who think they live on a globe, but answer the questions, and then just other people, men, women, children over the age of 13, ask the questions. But I never really talked to you about the Flat Earth. Like, are you familiar with the Flat Earth arguments, or or is that like something that's new to you?
It's kind of new, but I'm kind of in between. I guess I'm not sure which direction to go with that.
Yeah, I think that's common when you're just starting out looking at it, and there's also a lot of propaganda surrounding it. At least that's what I found before I actually started looking into it. I didn't even realize I was being subject to propaganda, but there's the mainstream propaganda, which is just globe, and then there's the second layer in the so-called truth community, which is the Flat Earth as a psyop to make the truth movement look bad. Propaganda. So if you don't get caught by the first one, then you can get by the second one. Then there's psyop in the Christian community with Ken Hovind, and I can't even remember the other guy's name, that tries to tell these people, yeah, you can go ahead with younger. That's fine to reject dinosaurs, but don't even think about thinking the Earth's flat, because that's what it actually says in the Bible. Because I'm here to give you a bunch of smoke and mirrors to tell you that's wrong. So yeah, we got all these gatekeepers like keeping people confused and doing their job quite well. Oh, Bo's wrote.
Since I'm kind of
go ahead, Mijun.
I'll just be quiet and let you guys talk. I'm new here.
Oh yeah, well we appreciate you being here. If you ever feel like speaking up, if you have a question about it, feel free.
Even if it's not Ladies' Night, remember that as well. Feel free to speak up whenever you want.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Bozogris. I don't actually know how to say his name. I don't want to just call him Bozo. Yeah, he says the Globers are scared down to the chill VC. I don't care that Globe Earth is down there. I kind of want to talk to the Imagine guy, but he's down there too, but that's fine. Some guys are like
the Imagine person said that they wouldn't come into live stream. They're a bit too afraid. They're only 14, seemed a bit nervous, a bit young. I said you could type in the voice text, but still nothing. I'm still waiting for them to reply.
Okay, well, if they've got something they want us to address, we can address it without them having to be in here. If they just, want to give us a
I think it's going to be a no-go at this stage.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I could see a young person like not wanting to be on. Yeah. Oh, and this, I should have told May June I don't know if it's obvious that this is broadcast on, it's been recorded on the YouTube. So if anybody didn't know that, now you know. So yeah, I totally understand why he might want to talk. I'm going to actually find the link and put it in the voice text there. Yeah, is there anybody else that has a comment or question they would like the ladies of the Flat Earth to address? Otherwise, we're coming up to the top of the hour. We could probably play a song just for fun. Lulu, did you have any... is she still here? Yeah, she's still here. Lulu, did you have any songs in mind that you would want to play?
Oh, no. Sorry, that took me by surprise. I don't know why. No, I don't have any in mind, but I can think of one. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll think of one and get it queued up. I didn't. May June, you had another question?
Yeah. So I'm sure you've talked the whole topic here for quite a while, and I just wondered your thoughts about. Someone said that I believe one of the tests they don't do right off the bat is just maybe like a laser test or something to generally disprove the Earth is round. They just shy away from some of the more easy tests, but they give you other, demonstrations of the Earth being flat, but it's maybe not necessarily the best one. They kind of avoid the ones that would just prove it right quickly without any doubt.
Yeah, I can put a link there. Can you see the live stream voice text? That's the report of one of the laser tests that's been done. There's actually been multiple laser tests that have been done. Do you see that one, May June at 59 minutes up there?
I can see a couple of posts.
Yeah, if you open up that one that says FE Core Experiment Description, Final Version, PDF, and you might want to take a look at it later. But basically, what all of the laser tests are demonstrating, as well as the long distance observations, like I'll put one of the long distance observations in there too. which would be, for example, and Donato put the FE core experiment in there again. One of the long distance observations that I've observed personally is the Chicago skyline across Lake Michigan at 52 miles, which is an impossibility on a globe of the radius claimed, which also we could go into further details. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but it can't be a bigger radius either. But because of their claim, we're testing their claim, which they're giving us these exact numbers and so on. So we, are given something that we're told is a model of reality, which is a globe with a radius of 3,959 miles. But then when we test it in the real world, we find, if we were on a globe, we wouldn't be able to see Chicago across Lake Michigan. This laser, which is what the laser tests are about, would not have hit that target at a distance of 25 miles across flat water. So the purpose of the laser tests, which some of them have been certified by the Hungarian government, and they explain to you how they set them up. And it's not just that one. That's FE Core did some of them, but then Dr. John Dee's done laser tests. Many different groups have done laser tests and discovered that the laser hits the target when that target should have been hidden by hundreds of feet of Earth curvature if we lived on a globe of the dimensions claimed. So I don't know. Does that make sense to you, May June?
Yes, and so I can look at that. Another argument, because I've heard of that one that you're talking about up there about was it on the one across the lake, 52 miles away. Then someone was saying that it could be that there was due to some reflection. I don't know if that could happen at the amount of space of 1,800 feet, but due to the climate and I don't know, certain other factors that the buildings could look. It's almost like a mirage where it could be reflected up, so you could see it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You're more well versed in this than me.
Oh yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, refraction is what they claim, and so what I mean, just to look at it as in a general way. So you're a person who is, willing to ask sincere questions and calmly examine the truth and so on. So a lot of people, but they have all these straw man arguments, non-scientific and so on, that are mainly out there propaganda to comfort people who wish to stay in the consensus state and the mainstream model, who just want to be told, don't worry about it, those flat earthers don't know what they're talking about, refraction. So, but, and the thing of it is here, May, June, we've got these people that have examined all of these arguments like backwards, forwards, and sideways, and can, demonstrate that I shouldn't even say we demonstrate that refraction can't cause that phenomenon. They can't demonstrate how refraction can cause that phenomenon based on how we actually know refraction to work and what's the scientifically accepted model of how refraction works in the real world. So they're just using refraction as an imaginary catch-all, to say that's what it is. There's an explanation, but it's not a scientific explanation, and it is not the way that refraction actually works. So it's just a lie. That's what it is. They're lying to keep people, stuck to this globe religion, superstitious belief.
So, Dandelion, just to introduce a new user to the channel, literally a few minutes ago, called Chinstra, STR. Chinistia seems quite reasonable and has a few questions for us. Telling you, I don't know, Chinster, can you hear me?
Yep, all good. What's up?
The ladies are here ready to take your questions. And I'll shut up.
I don't have anything specific. I'm just more curious, what are a few pieces of, what's the main thing you could tell me to convince me? Because right now, I believe that the Earth is a sphere, and I heard you talking earlier, and you were saying you just need to do some research. Well, where would you suggest I do that research, and what would be some things to point out to me to begin to change my mind? You know what I mean?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to give my answer, and then we'll have some of the other women give you their answer, because my answer is actually what I was just going to say to another video I was going to recommend to May June, and I'll just tag you in it to Chinster. Are you able to see the live stream voice text channel right above this one?
Live stream.
I'm going to tag you in it. Okay, so I don't expect you to go watch this video right now. Later, if you could bookmark that and watch that, it lays the concept of the physical geometric horizon and how, if we did live on a globe, it should obstruct objects in the distance at a set mathematical rate, which we do not observe or measure anywhere. So that's only 15 minutes long. Dr. John D., PhD in photospectrometry. He, like many of us here long ago, decided, I got to find out, I got to debunk these flat earthers, I got to show how they're wrong. And, PhD researcher Dr. John D. found out, nope, there's no proof of the globe nowhere. And so one reason why I recommend that one for anyone new to it is because he's just very calm about it, very matter of fact, which is all it is, like we were talking about earlier with wheat. If we're just talking about a mathematical model, or scientific inquiry, we don't need to get emotional about it. It's just like, yep, we're not on a globe with the radius of 3,959 miles. And then he explains quite well in that video, and then you can decide where you are if you want after that, but you can't say we're on that, because we're just not. So anyway, that's my
It is pretty interesting that when somebody hears flat Earth, they get super defensive about it and almost angry. It's kind of weird. But my whole thing is, why would the government want us to believe that the Earth is a sphere? What do they have to gain from that? Is it just about controlling the population?
Karma, Lulu, Dan Semitic, anybody else, KJ, want to talk about that? Why would they lie?
Oh, sorry, I was chatting with Lulu in text. She hasn't heard half the songs that have been coming out.
Oh, okay, so you're trying to come up with a song. Okay, cool. Well, if either of you have a comment on why would they lie, that's what Chinster wants to know, which is a song. Maybe we should play that one, but that's an oldie but goodie, but I don't know. We could play that for Chinster at some point. But yeah, do any of you ladies have anything to say about why they would lie about the globe?
Why would they not? But yeah, control, money, you name it, why wouldn't they? I mean, why would we even want to speculate what those sick-minded individuals would do?
Well, it's just I don't know, there seems to be nothing to gain from saying, oh yeah, hey, by the way, the Earth is round, or a sphere, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the first example then. Back in the day, everybody was like, we're God created, and we have God-given rights. And if you're not God created, and you're an insignificant speck in space on a random coincidence of a flying ball, then those rights are given to you by the state, and the state can take them away. Just one example. And then there's all the millions that go into NASA. So there's money there, there's control in the other thing.
Do you think it's a scheme
there's also, we aren't allowed to explore beyond a certain degree. What was it, the 67th or 66 degree parallel? Yeah, because of the Antarctic Treaty. So we're not allowed to explore. It has a psychological impact on people when you're forced to, when you're made to believe in something that contradicts your basic senses. Makes it easier to fool you again, makes you more gullible.
Okay.
There's tons.
What about the moon?
The more you think about it, the more you find,
Was the moon, do you guys believe the moon is flat as well?
I've chosen not to believe in anything without having proper proof or evidence for it. I'd rather know. And since I can't verify anything about the moon, I just go with, I see it's a light source. It sometimes is not as bright, sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. It follows a set pattern, and it's useful.
It's kind of one of those things. I'm sorry. Just like one of those things, you can go by a telescope and you can look at the moon. You can see the curvature on the moon with the sun reflecting off of it, and it's if the moon's a sphere, you can look at Mars. Mars is a sphere.
It can't be a reflection of the sun though, because it doesn't have a highlight like when you shine light on a sphere. That's not how a sphere reflects light.
What do you mean?
It's too even. There's a picture in text chat. You can see the difference of how light looks when it hits a sphere or when it hits, or how the moon looks. You know.
Let me find text chat. And I'm sure I'm just repeating, the same argument that a million other people have. This is chill chat.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, even when I first heard about this, like, we always get the moment when you're like, wait, what about this? Then what about this? What about this? And the beauty of it, some things we don't know because we can't test it, we can't verify it. And coming to terms with the fact that you don't know and it's okay not to know is also kind of important for personal growth. So I'm just fine with not knowing what the moon is.
So, do you think there's what piece of evidence could come up that would change your mind? Do you think what would have to come out to get you to believe that the Earth was a sphere?
This is actually one of my favorite questions, because this is kind of like, and here's my favorite example for this. If you walked in on your wife fucking your father, what would it take for you to believe that she's not cheating on you? That she didn't fuck him?
I don't get it.
It's the same with the globe. The thing is, I believed I was living on a globe. And then I went out and tested it. And I found out, oh my god, it's not a globe. It doesn't curve anywhere. If it doesn't curve anywhere, it can't be a globe. And what would it take for me to believe that again? Well, it'd be something along the lines of self-denial and, like, dishonesty with myself. And I have to lie to myself. Kind of like if you walk in on your spouse fucking someone else, no matter what anybody else says, no matter what pictures they show you, no matter if millions of people believe she's faithful to you, you're never going to believe she's faithful because you saw her fucking your dad or whoever,
But what's the point?
You can't go back to once you know.
What's the point in debating it if your view on it is, yeah, you're not going to change my mind? You know what I mean? Like if someone took you in an airplane that could reach the stratosphere and you looked down and you saw a curvature, that wouldn't change your mind?
See, the thing is, this is already all been tested. I've already done tests myself. Not as good as a lot of the people in here, for instance, the laser tests and those things. And if you compare this with just a non-judgmental mind, you can see, okay, this doesn't hold up. Their globe model, the numbers they give us just don't match reality, which means they've lied about a lot of things. And I don't see how I could be convinced otherwise, but for me, it's not a debate. I'm mostly here just to chat with people and help them figure out some information, know where to look, know what to look for, and maybe give you an idea on maybe something to consider.
Gotcha.
But I'm mostly here to chat.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't.
I'm actually Icelandic, so English is not my first language. So I prefer chill chats because.
You speak better English than I speak Icelandic, so.
Well, definitely, we have a very difficult language. It's like we're known for it.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, I appreciate it, and I'll check out that video that Dandelion sent.
Yes, he usually has pretty good links. He's OG in this, if I'm using that correctly.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
Can we ask him the 3 points?
Uh-oh. Ask me anything. Hello?
Oh, I was going to let you go watch that video first.
Oh. Someone mentioned asking me something.
Well, the 3 points is kind of like to see where people's at, like all their thinking's at. Like the first question would be something along the lines of, do you know of any time in the history of mankind, in ancient times or up to today, when or how anyone has measured curvature?
Fuck no.
Okay, but
like, what do you mean?
yeah, just like, do you know of anybody having done that, or when they did that, stuff like that? Like, do you know of that?
One of those things. I just have to read more into it. I personally, off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay, but you still believe there is a curve, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so that's a belief, but you don't know yet. That's fine. The second, because this is mostly just like asserting how much you know and how much you believe and where you're at with that.
Well, I don't know how my computer works, but I believe it's going to turn on when I press the power button.
Yeah, I get you. This is basically something we go through to know where the person's at, because some people are very familiar with the globe model, other people are not. Some people are like, oh, I think it was done at this time, this way, and then we talk that out. And if somebody doesn't know, and they're honest, they say they don't know, and sometimes we have people who are dishonest, say, I know, and when you ask them, they're like, at some point. So this also gives us a hint of whether the person is honest that you're dealing with, so it's nice that way as well.
Wait, wasn't there I'm talking out of my ass here. Christopher Columbus didn't back then that they believed the Earth was round or something. Like, it was a myth that he thought he was going to sail off the edge of the world or something, but like there was some. I'm talking out of my ass. Never mind. I'll do more research, and then we'll.
I've heard many different versions of that story, but I haven't seen anything to back it up properly.
But then at the same time, you could even say any history books, like who says a history book's real? You know what I mean? The government could be lying to us. You know, they took away all the real history. So, like, what do we believe here?
All of that with a grain of salt, because I mean, you see it even in society today, where you see the government and the media lying to your face. It's been especially clear because, like, I live in a country where we have 350,000 people, and it just so happens that our late dad was the biggest criminal in our country for a while. And he had dealings with the police where he had immunity because they wanted to import the drugs to try to start a drug war.
Okay.
And all kinds of different things like that. And our adoptive grandfather was also inducted into the secret society above the Freemasons in our country, the ones that's, tied in with all that stuff. That's why he was looking into all this stuff. And then there's the whole, we've seen where our main news source, the main media, the main newspaper in our country has made up stories, for instance, where they said Hell's Angels, the biker gang, and the Polish mob were going to have a gang war or something just around the time they're going to vote on guns. But then it turns out that wasn't true at all, because they happened to meet each other the same day and found out that the newspaper was lying and nothing happened. So there's plenty of examples of lying.
I'll have to read up on my Iceland lore.
The globe, and this is in every country. You can find this anywhere. So
you can turn on the TV right now.
People would be willing to lie about this. I find that kind of ridiculous, because what wouldn't they lie about?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I hear you. So I don't know. It just kind of puts you in the mindset of, anything you believe could just be fake, and I think, you're right. I do believe there it's a sphere, and I don't know if you guys will be able to change my mind on that, but it is interesting to think about, like, what could be fake.
Saying, look into everything with a bit of skepticism. Take everything with a grain of salt, but test it for yourself. Because it's not that hard to test with, for instance, a laser or a flashlight or something, and just have your friend across for instance, a lake or somewhere very straight where you can do a laser test. And the curved geometry is not that hard, because it's just, a basic curve calculator. You can find that online even. And you can test for yourself if you find any curve. And then you can know for yourself instead of relying on what other people have told you. And then you can be confident in knowing.
No, I hear you. I'm seeing these memes. I'm watching the YouTube. Stockholm Syndrome.
Can I
What's up?
something? Well, there was a test. I mean, if you're talking about historical, I believe that I remember reading about the one where the guy, he might have, I don't know what if you use like a telescope at that time, or how old this experiment was, but he looked or viewed down a very, very straight canal, and then he could see the boat, sinking as it went. I mean, do you have any comment on that? I'm sure you're familiar with it. Karma from Iceland, because you're the one who was talking and asking the question about historical experiments.
Are you talking the Bedford level?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking the Bedford level?
I don't really know the name of the experiment, but if that's the one involving a canal, which was, I believe, hundreds of years ago that they did that experiment. It was one person that did it.
I think you might be talking the Bedford level, but I'm not certain if that's what you're talking about, because that one proved the Earth was not curving.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the opposite. What year was that, Bedford?
I can't remember what year, but I'd have to go look it up again. But Bedford level it was in Britain somewhere, that they have a canal that they were able to see that there was no drop over that distance that was supposed to be there if it's a radius of 3959 miles.
Okay.
So, I got a question, if you don't mind. So, at what point in history did they decide, hey, we're switching or we're going to convince these people to start believing in the globe? Like, at what point do you think it became like a strategy to control the population? Okay, I'm just reading the chat here. I see not long ago than 1500s. I guess that's two different answers.
Well, there's different times periods in history that they claimed that they were saying it was a sphere already and had been proven, so it depends on what you mean by it, because there's newspaper articles that you can go look up in the archives that show that they were still teaching in public schools flat Earth.
Probably Alabama.
20s. No, it wasn't just anywhere. It was a lot of places and overseas as well in other schools. So until the moon landings happened, that was their first time that they actually could say, oh yeah, here we go. Now we know what the Earth looks like from this distance, is when they started saying that, because they could provide something that people would say, see, we landed on the moon. It must be what they say it is.
Gotcha.
This debate's been going on forever. It just became very public again when social media became a platform so that you could actually get it widespread enough that people knew. But there's always been this debate. It's always been going on. There's always been groups.
I'm sorry.
That knew.
I was going to say.
Always been groups that knew that we were being fooled and didn't buy into it. So.
Well, I was going to say my problem with it is that whenever you hear somebody mention the flat Earth, it just gets memed into the ground. And it's like whenever I try to, in the times I've tried to look it up, people just, they meme it and they create videos talking about how ridiculous it is. And it's like, I just want to find what makes people believe it. You know what I mean? It's like the only thing I've seen recently that it looks like you guys actually
I wouldn't call it a belief. See, the thing is, you have a belief. I don't have a belief. I've actually gone out and verified what they told me what it's supposed to be. And I can't find that curve, and that radius is not there. And I don't know how they figured it out. So for me, it's not a belief.
I guess that's just your opinion.
Well, do you consider evidence opinion, or science and evidence and measurement something that you know versus something you believe? I know what size my table is. I know what my car is. I'm able to tell you what wheel size it has because I can measure it. But you, on the other hand, have been told a line of stories that you have not confirmed So it's a belief. I went and confirmed whether it measured the way they say, and it doesn't.
So then why should I watch your video or listen to anything you guys are saying? You know what I mean?
We're not saying that. We're saying you should go prove this for yourself. You have to decide whether you want to keep a religion or if you want to have a knowledge. It's always up to you. We don't try to convince anybody here. We're here to provide information if you seek it, and how to do it for yourself if you wish to, and give you the information and the numbers and what they've told you it is. You don't
my whole
even know
thing
your model
is
well enough to know how to disprove it yet, probably.
my whole thing is it's like at the end of the day, if I did my own research and did the experiments that you guys say to do, and I did it, and then if I found out the Earth was flat, I just feel like, damn, okay, and then I just go to work and keep doing my thing. You know what I mean? It's not really like a groundbreaking thing,
That's what a lot of people think, but you don't understand how much it actually probably plays into your reality and what they're going to lie to you continually about and add to it and make you pay for. You're not thinking big picture here at all. What does it mean to have a hidden shape of the Earth, or have a space program that tells you can escape into something that you may not even be able to access because it doesn't even exist, and charge you for it and control your mind? I don't know about you, but I find my mind being free of lies is a good thing. I don't like to be lied to. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it lets me know who I'm dealing with when I know who the liars are. Then I can protect myself from them, because they will lie more. You think this is it? Nah, this is just beginning. This is just the foundational one they base a lot of things off of and get you to comply with. And they'll make more things to comply with, trust me, based off of this. It's coming.
I don't know. I guess I still just don't see the big picture of, okay, it wasn't a globe. We got you. Teehee. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think the government, I don't think the government is competent enough to pull off a lie like that.
Well, they want you to think that it takes lots of people in the know to keep a lie. That's not true. If you've ever been in the military like I have, compartmentalization is a big deal in how they work it. You don't have to be in the know to have a huge lie and be participating in it and spreading it as well. That's what propaganda is. That's what compartmentalization is.
Military right now. I know how incompetent the government is.
You think some things are incompetent. That's true. That is true. There is some, but there are some things they are very good at keeping from everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless, okay, I don't want to diverge. I just don't think Orange could keep a secret. You know what I mean?
It's not about him knowing. Do you think he actually
see the puppet? Yeah, that's a good point
too. Like
too.
every other puppet, you don't know who knows what. How do you know who knows?
I'm reading
I know, and he might be a better actor than you think.
Yeah, hey, good point. Finster, why does flat Earth scare you so much? Dude, it doesn't scare me. I'm just intrigued by it. I think it is interesting because it's something you've been taught since you were a little kid, and to see people say it's not real, it's intriguing, You're right. I am scared. So is it like a flat circular plane, or is it like a Minecraft thing with an ice wall that you can't go past?
Well, that would have to go try it out and see. If people that have tried to go to Antarctica cannot get past a certain point because there's a treaty. And
got a Bass Pro.
Well, who knows? I won't claim that I know what's past a certain point. All I can tell you is, there's a large wall if you want to go look at just the coastline being called a wall of ice. But what's beyond that? Well, there's a lot of land, so who knows? And is it completely circular? I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Here's a more lighthearted question. All right, and you can't say me because that'll make me feel bad, but what is the dumbest thing, what's the dumbest argument someone's tried to make for the sphere?
Drop something and you'll know that there's gravity and we're spinning. Yeah, just things like that. Just dumb stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw a GIF. Somebody they spun a ball with water in, and they're like, "Explain this." It's like, damn, I'm not smart enough to disprove. I'm not smart enough to disprove any of this stuff.
Well, see, what they've done is they made you not trust your own senses. You think you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, depending on where you're at on this supposed globe. You think there's a curvature when you have never seen it, never experienced it. You've never felt a spin. You've never had centrifugal force and somehow centripetal force being different. You've never experienced it. So you're being taught to not trust your own mind, your own eyes, your own feelings, your own senses. There's a reason they do that, because if they can get you to not trust your own self, what can you do with people that don't trust their own self? You can tell them anything you want. Anything.
Hey, would you say you're anti, like, science and medicine? If you have the belief that unless we can prove it ourselves?
How much schooling would you guess I have?
You're in the military, so I'd guess high school.
You'd be wrong. I got 2 years of med school under my belt as a PA.
Yeah, I had no way to know that, you know what I mean?
Of course not. So you're assuming, based that I'm a flat earther, that I must not be as educated as I could be.
It was more based on military.
I've got more degrees than some people here do, but degrees mean nothing when they tell you lies when you get those degrees, because I can tell you I was lied to a lot. And
So
I found out.
the stuff you learned in med school, you disregard?
Including that. No, I don't disregard it. I know there are ways to actually do experiments correctly, and I also know who pays for things and who alters things, and I know all kinds of stuff that people would never, ever trust their medical system if they knew what I knew. Ever.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You know, what can I do? All I can do is present evidence, and then you have to make the decision yourself. Because
Gotcha.
I'm never going to overpower a media machine that is run by the government, that has every resource and all the money. How am I supposed to beat that?
Yeah.
Especially
All right.
when they own your voting system, like the pharmaceutical industries.
Yeah.
Own you.
Watch the news 3 years ago before COVID. Pharmaceutical was bad. Today it's fantastic.
It's God.
Yeah, it's God.
Been God for a long time, and it will continue to be. And if you think this is the only lie they've pulled on us,
yeah, there's some common ground there. Yeah, I gotcha. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna head off. I appreciate you guys actually talking about it. I live by a lake. I'll do that little laser test.
anytime, come back, ask any question. We're always
All
welcome.
right.
As
I
long as
appreciate
you
it.
treat us with respect like this and don't make fools of us, hey, or try to, we're good.
Hey, I'm not smart enough to make fools out of you guys.
Pinstripe, I hope you
Might cut out there.
look. Is that better? Is that better or no?
You're coming in now.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, I hope you bookmarked that Dr. John D. video. I hope you get a chance to look at that later. And there's a whole bunch of information down at the bottom of the channel server, A to Z channels about information. Because like you said, when you searched it, you just get a bunch of silliness and propaganda and emotional people who have a fit and a tantrum. If you happen to mention they might have to let go of their fantasy globe. So we do have a lot of information here that's curated to get around the YouTube and other censorship that was admitted in Congress, that Congress does censor Flat Earth. So this is a good place to come just as a resource, if nothing else. But we hope you come back and talk to us as well.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah, peace, brother.
All right, bye.
That's funny that he said he assumed you were in high school because you were in the military. I assume military people are college educated because don't they still have the GI Bill where you can get a free college education?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my assumption is if you've been in the military that you are college educated. I don't know. I mean, maybe not when you start out, but you know.
Yes, I've worked with corpsmen. If somebody's asking that in the chat, yes, I have. I worked with multinational forces when I was in Iraq, so I messed with everybody, including even crazy enough some CIA people that were having issues on our base at times. So yeah, worked with lots of different military people.
Dandelion, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Who's that?
Yes.
Professor Photon, hi there.
Hello. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How did you get your name and your avatar, if I may ask?
Oh, well, actually, in general, I'm just a huge fan of dandelions. I used to have a different name, Mary Mom, and then when I decided it was time for a new name, which here on Discord, you don't even have to go to court to change your name or anything. You can just change it anytime you want. Some people change it all the time. Anywho, I like dandelions. All my life, I've always thought they're beautiful yellow flowers, as well as being a food source. You can use the young greens to make salad. You can make dandelion wine out of the flowers. You can use the roots as a medicinal plant, and so on and so on and so forth. And the other thing I like about dandelions, Professor Photon, is no matter how much people keep trying to kill them and keep them down, they keep coming back. You can destroy them totally. You got those little seeds you can blow up, make wishes on the seeds, which is very fun function of dandelions as well as doing the butter test, making dandelion crowns, and so on. Yeah. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yeah, I was just curious. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. How'd you become Professor Photon?
You know, that's actually an interesting story because when I first got into this server, I was not Professor Proton. Somebody gave me that name while I got into the server, and now I can't change it back to what I usually call myself.
Oh, I could change it back for you, but I just kind of think that name is funny. Oh, you were just Proton. You don't want to be a prof?
I was actually the less than sign. So the symbol for less than and space and then proton. But hey, you know, as long as you let me hang out in your channel, you can call me anything you want.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we have another person.
Just not late for dinner, right?
ASCE wants to talk, has a question for us, but somebody else another person was saying something.
No, never mind. It was about the same thing. To unmute him.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, because, yeah, you told me. All right, so ASCE, maybe you can tell me how to say your username after I unmute you, so.
Hello,
how do we say your name? Yes,
Ace.
We hear you. Just Ace, that's very easy. I can handle that.
Yeah. So my friend got me into this, and I cannot believe that a community such as yours exists, but I'm going to ask you a few questions.
All right.
Why the hell don't you just send a space balloon into space and take a picture of the Earth? What
a great question! I'm going to show you some pictures of those, but go ahead, Damsel Medic, while I find those pictures.
You don't think we've done high-altitude balloons? Apparently you haven't looked at those pictures yourself. The ones without a fisheye lens, by the way.
Post the pictures in the chat and we're going to have a look.
Okay, first I have to give you the VC verified rules so you can see that voice text. So do you agree to follow the rules of our server as listed in welcome? Short summary would be no trolling, no concern trolling, be civil, no personal attacks, and all of those things. And you can read them in more detail there. Also, this live stream's going out on YouTube, just so you know. So do you agree to follow those?
All good.
Gave you the VC Verify, so now you'll just see the live stream voice text. So, and I wouldn't, we don't even need to claim that this is evidence of flat Earth. I mean, it is evidence, that the globe model is a failure, and it's also the reason why this evidence is actually more credible than NASA's, fisheye lens and CGI admitted on NASA.gov to be such CGI compilations of images, not actual pictures of Earth. The reason why these are more credible as evidence is because you could yourself, if you cared enough, Ace, you could buy a weather balloon kit. Last time I looked them up, they were around $1,000 or so, and I'm sure you can, pay more to get better ones or whatever. And you could go up and you could have a camera and you would find
and that's
this
exactly
is what the horizon looks like.
And that's
cool.
exactly
Let's see your footage. Let's see it. Put it up there. Let's see it.
Okay. I'm gonna show you a picture.
Yeah, and as I said, like while you're finding that case,
Have you posted your picture? Where can I find it?
Oh yeah, sorry. So I gotta tag you in there. Scroll up, just put it back in there. But it's not necessary for us to claim this as evidence. So whatever evidence you put up that disputes or seems to contradict these images that independent researchers and amateur scientists and other people have found that they're completely flat over 100,000 feet when they use the weather balloon footage. We don't need this. I mean, this is just nice, like icing on the cake. But the cake is, we see too far. The laser tests show there's no curvature anywhere, as well as being no scientific, verifiable, testable, repeatable evidence of curvature or rotation anywhere. Yeah, you can put your image up, but it's not proof. I mean, I'm not claiming that this is proof either. I'm just showing you, as you said, why don't we do it? People have done it. I'm not going to spend $1,000 to do it.
That I can't even get the word.
Oh yeah, it's because you keep interrupting me. So I was trying to get it out before you, because you're just dying. You go ahead, Ace. I'm sorry I talked too much. Go ahead.
This is our world. This is our world video. It just proves the Earth is a globe. What the fuck? It's basically, it's not even high enough. That's all the proof you have.
You don't think over about balloons. Now you're asking. You asked about balloons, so we showed you balloon footage because that's what you came in and said. You said, "Why haven't you guys done those?" And now you're saying it's not high enough. So what is high enough?
You're showing me a video from YouTube saying this is our world. And
actually, you can actually find ones that are not flat Earth videos that have done the same thing with their own balloons. And like she said, you can even go do it yourself. So did you do it yourself?
Of course.
Of course. Well, then I would love to see your footage without a fisheye lens.
If you want to DM it to one of us, then we can put it up here so it would show. Otherwise, if you just put it up, it won't. The image won't show. But you could send it to, one of the silver, gold, or mods here, and they can put it up for you.
Yeah.
Just put the link up and we can look at it. It's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's irrelevant to what I just explained to you, that the Earth measures flat and that there's no positive proof of the claim of curvature and rotation. You
What's the problem?
talk over when I say that, right, Ace?
Because you don't believe any. Because you don't believe any evidence.
No, we have evidence. That's the problem. You're saying we don't believe evidence, but we can.
Then let me ask another question. Then,
so have you gone out and measured on a point where you know the distance over the water or anything? Have you done any actual physical measurements yourself?
Well, let me ask a few questions first. Then.
No, I asked you one first. Please answer that question. It's very easy. Yes or no? Did you go do a physical measurement over any body of water, any long distance observations?
That's so irrelevant because...
No, because that's the shape of the Earth to be determined through that. So I'm asking you again, yes or no?
I'm not the fucking measure guy.
Well, then you don't know what you're talking about when you say we haven't measured it and we have no evidence. See, that's what we've done. So you're actually coming in here and insulting people that have done some of these things.
I'm not insulting anyone, but let me ask a few questions first. If you think the Earth is flat, how do you think the airplanes go from Australia to South America? In which route?
They fly in straight lines on a guided path.
In straight lines.
What do you mean? What does that mean? They can do that on a flat plane. It's as easy as a globe.
Which
route? We're not going to get into routes because you can't confirm them unless you've been on them. I'm not going to debate any routes with you at the moment because none of them prove the shape of the Earth that way that you're trying to confirm that somehow it shows you that it's a globe versus the flat. You can use plane routes if you know them specifically, but I haven't been on some of them. I've been on military flights. I've flown all over the place. And I've never seen a curve yet either.
if you're saying that the Earth is flat, that means that when an airplane goes from Australia to South America, it goes over North America, right? If it goes in a flat line.
You're going to have to show me a very specific route.
I can post an image.
If you're just talking about routes that may not exist or may not even be flown. So that's the thing. You think circumnavigation can't happen on a flat plane. So you're very confused about the model that you've got that has problems with those plane routes.
Then another question. If you think the Earth is flat, why has no one in the history of the Earth ever fallen off the edge?
Because there isn't an edge that we speak of. Do you fall off the edge of a lake? Water has to be contained. So you're telling me you're going to fall off the edge of the lake because you think it's a flying pizza pie, which is actually a misnomer of the Flat Earth idea. That's not any of us think that at all. That's from the Flat Earth Society. So you think it's a pizza pie sliding through some kind of vacuum
No, I
of
think
space.
it's a globe. I think it's a globe. I'm not a
But you think Flat Earthers think that so that you can fall off some edge.
Then explain me what's on the edge.
I don't know. Have you been there? I haven't been there.
But why don't you go there?
Because you can't. You don't know about the Antarctic Treaty? Nobody's told you about that? It sounds like you've been here before.
No, I have a better
You don't
things
know about
to do.
the Antarctic Treaty.
Why, if you have such a large community, don't you just prove the evidence?
We have provided the evidence.
You first formulate some theory and don't provide any evidence of it.
And you think your globe has done that? Tell me the scientific experiment that's proven your globe.
Well, tell me, should I believe Einstein, Aristotle, and all the other guys?
Why are you appealing to authority all of a sudden? That's a fallacy. To appeal to authority suddenly, because you can measure things. See, measurement isn't a scientific experiment, but it is evidence of what something is. I can measure my table. I can measure the land I'm going to build my house on. I can measure across the distance and know if it matches up with a globe. And if it doesn't match, because the horizon doesn't fall off or have a physical horizon in the place that it should be, then I know it's not accurate. It's not right.
In my eyes,
it's so geometry.
Easy. It's so easy
basic
to
geometry.
prove.
Really?
So
then
easy.
give me your best proof. Give me your absolute best proof that it isn't some kind of photograph referring to NASA. That's something that anybody could prove it with.
That's such a stupid statement.
Oh, really? Is it stupid to actually confirm something for yourself?
There's millions of videos, of photos.
Millions of videos do not
everything.
prove anything. They can all be altered. They can all be
But do you have one? Do you have one?
Because of lenses. They can be all kinds of reasons why I would not believe a photograph.
But I don't
But when
see
I can measure a physical item I stand on, you stand on it too, then why won't you measure it? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of you might find?
Why don't you just go to space? Take a picture.
Why don't you?
Hold on, yeah,
Why don't
James,
you?
you got to get him to. You can't just go gish gal from one thing to another.
Yeah,
unless
I
you're
know.
gonna
She's doing a
concede some
good
these
job of
points.
that.
She's
Look, it's
destroying
what he's
every
doing.
point you've made, and you're just going on to the next one without conceding.
Yeah, because
even one.
you won't answer the actual questions, which is another fallacy to gish gallop around. It means that you don't have any evidence to back up your point. That's what I was trying to get you to lock down on yes and no even answers, and you wouldn't do that.
But
So
I
you
want
might
your
want to go back
evidence.
to our evidence is measurements. We told you that.
I want pictures.
Something called it's something called the
measurements.
black swan. I think you know about it. You've probably heard of the black swan. So you know that we have actual distances that are measured over a body of water at a 1 foot or less observer height, and it can't work on your globe. It can't work because you have a radius that you've actually said that has to be.
That's your
And you
main
say
point.
boats fall apart. You say boats sail over an edge on
That's
your
your
globe.
main point.
No, Ace, you go back to. She asked you for your best evidence. You said there's millions, and you haven't given her one. Where's your evidence for this curvature or rotation? That's what Damsel Medic asked you, so go back to that question. Answer it
Not
or
a
concede that you don't
photograph.
have any.
You want 4K live footage from the
No.
International Space
No,
Station?
because that can be fake just as well as anything, and you know it. That is not evidence, and even a scientific court or a scientist would never say that that would be considered evidence.
Holy shit! I can't believe what I'm hearing. So
Sure you can.
your main point is
Is that you can measure the Earth that you stand on,
is a
and you can
measurement.
do it for yourself. Yes, because
your main
measurements
point
are
is
a
a
scientific
measurement.
standard. They're a standard. You can measure for a house. You can measure
You
for
believe
a
in
tire on a
measurement
car.
and science
in
of
measurement.
measurement, but you don't believe in
Ace, you're gonna have,
space
hold
science.
on. I gotta moderate here for a second. We're gonna go on with Ace. If you're going to have a conversation with Damsel Medic, she's been more than common patient with you. You need to let her finish her point and not start interrupting her midpoint. Otherwise, I will have to mute you while she is talking and then unmute you while you're talking. People get upset when I do that. We do that for people who are not capable of listening to another person and carrying on an adult conversation. So are you going to let her finish her point before you address that point that she made instead of going on to another one, Ace?
Absolutely, but just
Right, let's try it. Okay, sorry, Damsel Medic. You're gonna have to back up. You're gonna have to back up and repeat that wonderful content you just had because he kept talking.
Ladies, can I just say we've got another user ready to ask a question if you want to move on from this guy.
Yes, this guy is just incredulous. Yeah, he just has the incredulity because he doesn't think it could be possible that he could be lied to about his particular assumption that the globe is real and spinning. And you have provided absolutely no evidence since you've been here. Nothing. And you want to go with pictures? Well, then
I want your evidence.
About my pictures.
I came here. I
Our
didn't come.
evidence is measurements over a distance that has been told to us must be a physical edge, a horizon. Your globe model requires a globe horizon physical that's at 3959, so 3,959 miles. Must be your radius. And it's been blown away multiple times by even long distance photographs confirmed by Guinness Book of World Records even. So what do you got? You got nothing because you haven't even tried to go out and measure it. You want to look at pictures from somebody that tells you what to believe.
Hey, can I answer this?
Okay, hold on. Yeah, we'll go on to the next. Hold on. Let me just. So, Ace, I just wanted to tell you, yeah, you're interested in the evidence. If you look in the live stream voice text where you've been tagged multiple times, so while we're talking to this next person, you could check out the FE core experiment description, final version PDF, the laser test, as well as any of the other evidence that's been presented to you. And then when we come back to you, you can tell us what your substantive response is. Okay, go ahead, Go Boozer. Boozer, what do you got to say there?
So, ladies, I've just introduced the Bob User. Yeah, they've just literally dragged through the VC check-in process because they saw that the questions in here were not the best. So they are fairly new to the server, and they did seem a bit more genuine. And maybe the check-in process was a little bit rushed. But so, Bob User, your mic's open. You're free to ask the room.
Hey, how's it going?
What up?
Greetings.
Just chilling, man.
I hope so. Go smoke something.
All right, so before we answer any questions,
Jump in, or I'll have to. I'm sorry, I got to moderate Glowbirth. Glowbirth, we'll talk to Bob. You need to keep yourself muted. If you have a question, put it in the live stream voice text, and we'll address it after we're done talking to Bob. Thank you, Glowbirth. All right, go ahead, Bob. Sorry for the interruption.
So just before, because I don't want to hate on anybody, and we'll take it calm and smooth and take our time with everything. But I'm on the spectrum, you know. This is either spiritual or God, or I'm not saying I believe in these things or a flat earth. I'm just saying that I don't know what's out there, and I'm open to everything. Now, if you guys have any questions that need answering, either scientifically or just based on opinions, I'm here to answer that. Now, I heard someone bring up the fact that based on a distance and the curvature of the earth, there are some objects like skyscrapers or mountains that we should not be able to see. Correct? Am I wrong? I swear somebody was bringing that up, saying that there's no point or scientific evidence to explain how these objects are still shown. over an event horizon event or something along those lines.
Physical
Am I wrong?
horizon is claimed by the globe, so yes, you can't see past a wall.
No, that's you're completely right. I mean, on a curvature basis of the globe, and again, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just trying to give some evidence and answers. Technically speaking, on that fact alone, you should not be able to see these objects, but for some reason we still do, right? So there's other factors in the universe that come into play, right? There's laws, numerous laws created by physics, scientists. There are other factors and reasons to why you could see those items. Now,
really, you want to explain those to us?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
We know about those, so go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it sounds like you're